Hello, welcome to a new video, and if you can read, you know already this is going to be my legend run, but not only this is also going to be the #1 team on Pvpoke, and as you can see here already, I guess this team does actually work, even in metas of more Pekko, which can be a bit of a tricky one. We want to see here, by the way, all of the battles kind of lead up to me hitting legend with this team, and what I can say as well already, I didn't hit a legend by like a small bit or whatever. I went 5-0 in my final set with this team here and completely crushed that barrier. And I'm actually currently as well with a little bit of a different team, which you most likely gonna see tomorrow, up in the top 200 of the leaderboards currently based on my elo. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for more content on my channel as well. If you want to see the top teams for PvP all the time, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. I would really appreciate it, as sadly the first battle here is not gonna go to plan, and this is like going to be one of the things, of course, that is not going to be as ideal. It's going to be more Pekko. More Pekko is a very tough Pokemon to deal with. As you're gonna see here, Orwell is just gonna completely wreck me. And so yeah, first battle not gonna work out as I wanted it to, but does that really matter? I don't know. We're gonna see here that we can still go for at least one or more Ice Beam, get them close to being knocked out, and yeah, they're gonna be able to go now for the big charge move again. Going to be a Shadow Ball, and we will see the Azumarill coming in. We're gonna forfeit the first battle. So of course, not everything is gonna go well, but here we're gonna see a Nidoqueen that high up on the elo range there. Is kinda ridiculous to see a Nidoqueen. I'm going to let the move go through here. The opponent swaps out into a Cacturne, and what a crazy call from the opponent. This is a very funny because yeah, the double weak to ice as well, and we're going to have a lot of ice type coverage on this team with 3 Pokemon that have access to ice type moves. It is going to be very good for us. Trailblaze is coming through, and you might think, why is he deciding to use a shield here in this scenario while we are so low? I kinda would love to get the Nidoqueen against our Steel type, where Poison is basically doing nothing. And so we're gonna be able to go into our Sandslash. We can go for a charge move, and with this, we're going to be able to get the not KO. We're gonna get the final shield, and so we're gonna use the shield here as well, just in case they're going to have a Pokemon in the back that doesn't want to face ice again as well. And it is going to be, we will never know. We don't know what the final Pokemon going to be here. So now we're going to encounter another weakness to this team, which is going to be the Fortress. Fortress is going to be a Pokemon that I don't want to face with this one for sure, as Fortress is going to have access to Volt Switch, being super effective against my lead, but they're also going to have Earthquake, being super effective against our Sandslash, and here Rock Tomb being super effective, and of course Volt Switch super effective against the Dugong. So that is not going to be a great matchup at all, and let's see if we can still deal with that one. We all see the opponent going for Rock Tomb here, dropping our attack, which is really annoying, as we are now going to go for the Drill Run, trying to do our best here in order to get some damage onto them, but they're very likely going to be even able to now align themselves. Let's see here, we're going to see the Rock Tomb very likely coming through from the opponent, knocking us out. We can go into the Sandslash, trying our best here to go for maybe even the full farm down. It doesn't work out again. We have to use a shield, and as you're gonna see here, like, there are of course going to be some issues as well, but still this team was so good in the end that it was enough for me to hit a legend with, and again was actually really good for me to play as well. So I can really recommend here this team. Also shouts to Pvpoke, of course, most important website for PvP. If you don't know what Pvpoke is, definitely check out that website. It is definitely the best resource in order to know which Pokemon are good or not. But as you're gonna see here, while we're in such a bad spot, we have the ice typing on our side. So many Pokemon being weak to this typing in the current meta, allowing us to get a knockout even against this Dragonite here, knocking them out straight away with our Sandslash. Bye-bye there, and we can win the battle now against the opponent's Fortress. Next one, the Dragonite, lovely for our entire team, and so I'm not too worried about giving up my lead here because no Pokemon is actually weak to this thing. And so what we will see here is I'm going to let the move go through. The ideal play against Feraligatr. Feraligatr is a little bit of a trickier Pokemon to deal with. What you can do is you can let the 2 moves go through against your Azumarill, and you kind of want to go for 2 play roughs against the opponent's Feraligatr in order to kind of knock them out there as well. But as you will see here, they're going to go for another Hydro Cannon. They should be able to outspeed me here as well, which they do. And so we decide to use a shield here again. We need to get shields down basically. And as they're going to have the Dragonite anyway, we know that we don't really care too much about what they're going to swap on afterwards, because we still have another ice type in the bag. They don't go into the Dragonite here against us, unless they're going to try to catch a Drill Run, which could definitely be the case. But as you will see, they're going to stay in with a Feraligatr. I can go for a Drill Run now myself. And what do they want to do now? I don't really know. They decide to go into their Gastron, of course. They don't know. They have another Ice-type Pokemon in the back that is going to be very good for me. And as you will see, I'm gonna let the move go through. It's going to be a body slam, and the opponent will say things like, oh, that's great for me. My Dragon Knight going to have so much play later on. Are you sure about this? We're going to have our Alolan Sandslash here. And to be fair, I didn't even really need to go for a drill run here, because even if the opponent would catch an Ice Punch, it would have knocked them out there. But yeah, I can go for an Ice Punch now, knock them out, go for a drill run afterwards, knock them out, and we can move on to the next opponent as well after this drill run hits. Here, by the way, that's going to be 2 full sets that you're going to see in terms of battles. Those were the 2 sets that I did before hitting Legend with this team. I did, like, I think 1 more set afterwards with this team as well, which is not going to be in here now because we already at 18 minutes nearly with this video today. So I think it's going to be enough gameplay anyway. But yeah, those battles are all going to be in here. It's not going to be in order, but a lot of gameplay for you to see on how to play this team. We're going to have here the opponents dealing against us in the lead. This is usually an okay spot for us. We will see the drill run coming through, but usually I kind of would like to keep my Azumarill somewhat healthy, just in case the opponent has like a fighting type Pokemon. Like, there are going to be teams with Pangoro still around, and so that's why we kind of kept our Azumarill here. They can go for a drill run against us, but they decide to go for an Icy Wind, making this actually way more better matchup for us, as we can go for an Icy Wind against the opponent now. And we don't really do as much damage, of course, but they also don't really do as much damage, and so we can let the move go through. It is going to be the Mud Bomb from the opponent, and eventually we might be even able to swap out again to our Azumarill while keeping here also energy on our own Dewgong. We see the Mud Bomb coming through, we can swap out. Our debuff is cleared up now, the opponent cannot really do damage against me, and they're going to have to take now a player from me, which is gonna be okay. This is gonna be enough to put them into range where 1 more fast move from any Pokemon, I feel like, is going to knock them out here. And they can still go for a drill run and trying to knock me out with it, but I'm not even too sure if this is going to be enough, and it is not enough. And so what we will see is another play rough connecting, knocking out that one. We will see the opponent going into their Pokemon being weak to an Ice type, and that's going to be crazy good for our team, of course. Here, that Drifblim is not going to have a great time here at all. Like, not going to have a great time against any of my Pokemon. Yes, they catch the move here on the Whiscash, which had like 1,000,000 energy as well, so like we get rid of a ton of energy, which is really good for the Pokemon that we have in the back. Now we have 2 shields, a Sandslash, Pono Snow, Shadow vs Shadow. Like, what can really happen here that goes wrong? Nothing can really happen that could go wrong. We can just use shields, and I don't think they're going to be able to generate energy fast enough to win this battle. Next opponent, Arzu against Arzu. How do you really want to play this one? For me, I kinda would like to just go ahead and go for some play roughs here first, get them a little bit lower for the backline. But again, you kinda want to keep maybe even some energy on your Azumarill for later on, as you can maybe use it against a potential fighting type Pokemon there. A lot of times Azumarill is paired with Pokemon as well that are like part poison type a lot of times, part grass type a lot of times. So let's see what it's going to be here as well. We're going to have a play rough coming through. We're going to get to another play rough afterwards as well. That's going to do quite some solid damage, as we gonna try to now swap out, I think, on the next one into our Dewgong, exactly keeping 1 charge move stored for later on. Catching that player off here, that's going to be fine for us. And we will see as well, the opponent is going to stay in here for a little bit. They maybe want to swap out as well with a move. They do, they catch the move here on a Drifblim. Well played by them. Well played by them, but it doesn't really help them actually, because I'm still going to be able to outspeed them here. So like, yeah, great catch on the drill run, but still you're going to have to take an Icy Wind next. And that's going to be enough to knock them out or get the shield. And I'm totally happy about this now, because they're forced to still go for a charge move. I'm not even too sure if an Icy Wind will knock us out. It's double resisted and debuffed, and so they decided to go for the Shadow Ball. They should have never got this move off, and this is really unfortunate. I should have been able to fully farm them down in time, but no, not today. They're gonna swap out into their Diggersby. I can go for an Icy Wind now with an Icy Wind, Ice Beam I want to go for with my Azumarill. Doesn't work out. They go for a Scorching Sands beforehand. Now all of a sudden we're in a really tough matchup where our Alolan Sandslash has to do basically everything, and we would have been in such a better matchup if, like, yeah, the opponent didn't get the Ice Wind through. I would have been able to get my Ice Beam through and didn't get the over tap there on the bubble. But still, this game is not over yet, and so Alolan Sandslash is honestly such a strong Pokemon right now. If you have not tried this Pokemon out recently, try it out again. Like, it's such a good Pokemon right now. Like, a lot of people definitely going to enjoy this Pokemon because it's a core breaker for the most common core of Diggersby and the Toxapex. Next opponent, we're going to have the Alolan Sandslash against us in the lead. This is not ideal, but also we're going to be able to resist the fast move. And what we're going to see here from me is I'm just going to keep all the energy here. I'm going to take a drill run. I'm totally fine with that one. I have so much energy now and I can swap out into my Dugong, double resisting the fast move of the opponent, doing literally 0 damage against me. Drillrun is coming through here against me, which I'm totally okay with, and they swap out into their own Zero Morale, allowing us now to get some Drillrun damage in as well. But what we can do is, we can wait until they get a ton of energy, and decide to go for the Icy Wind here just so they don't do as much damage against my Dugong as well. But I can also then swap out into my own Sand Slash soon, which is going to be able to take those charge moves really easily. So we see the play rough coming through. I can go for 1 more fast move or 2 more fast moves, and now all the energy should be resisted from them, but also debuffed, and so it doesn't do any damage. Look at the play rough, it doesn't do any damage at all. They go into their own Sand Slash, and because our switch clocks are unaligned, we still have a draw run stored on our Dugong. We should be kind of fine here. I can just go for the draw run the entire time, and I should be able to swap out before the opponent can, and so they go for a shield. That is fine. I'm just going to go for a shield as well if they want to go for another charge move here, and I should be able to swap out before the opponent, before anything can happen, but I make a mistake. I decided to go for the drill run here, which now allows the opponent to swap out again because the switch clock was up. But also, we were able to catch the move here, which is going to be another drill run, and that is not ideal. So we're gonna go into the Azure Roll. I can go for a play rough, I guess, to knock them out, but they swap out into their own Azure Roll, and I'm now, what am I supposed to really do here? Play rough coming through, getting them a little bit lower. I could knock them out here, but then I'm gonna be in a position where I don't really have anything to do like afterwards, because if the Sand Slash comes in, they should be able to outspeed me, so I have to be a bit careful, and so I completely zero bubble this play rough. What this allows me to do is fully farm them down with my Sand Slash, getting a ton of energy here up to another drill run, allowing me to also knock out the opponent's Sand Slash here. I don't know how much energy they had, so I went just for the easy play of going straight for the drill run, and in the back it's going to be a Dragonite, which we're going to be able to knock out. Next opponent, we're going to have a Dunsparce in the lead. That's going to be a Pokemon where we're going to stay in and just kind of try to play out the matchup. It is the best for us to just play it out and don't really worry too much about anything else, because our backlane is going to be weak to either rock or the ground typing. So we're just going to stay in here, go for play rough, and I think good LEV Azure modes, which mine is, should be able to win this in the Zero Shield scenario, so we will find out if we're going to be able to do exactly this. If we win this in the Zero Shield, it's definitely going to be fine, unless they're going to have a fighting type Pokemon in the back. We should be in a really good spot then. You see the play rough coming through, and as you're going to see here, the opponent's still going to go for a charge move, but it's never going to knock us out, and this is going to be amazing. In comes the opponent's Malamar, a Pokemon with fighting type coverage, and this is going to be a big problem for me now. As we will see here, the opponent can go into the Talonflame, which again, I have another ice type Pokemon in the back. That is not ideal. That is really not ideal. And so I can go for another Icy Wind. Is it going to be enough? Is it going to work out? We're actually going to be able to connect this one, which I was quite curious about why the opponent let the move go through, but I'm okay with that. And so Brave Bird is going to connect now. I can go for the full farm down. I can get to the Icy Wind here, but I don't really know how to proceed now. I decide to go ahead and go into my Sand Slash. Sand Slash can do some solid damage with my fast moves there, but also I'm going to force them to go for superpowers. And I can go for 2 shields basically, like for 1 shield here, but like have to take basically 2 superpowers from the opponent. And if this is going to happen, they had -3 attack. There's no way that they're going to be able to knock me out here afterwards, right? Superpower going to be through. They had -2 defense as well. We do our bubble damage, and we just barely didn't get the damage through. If we did get the bubble damage through there, which would be like 1 more turn from the opponent's fast move, we would have won this battle, but they're actually going to be able to take it home with Malamar. This battle is definitely still from like the first set from this one, the one that we just lost, because I know that the last set I did with this team was a 5-0, as far as I remember. And so, as you're going to see here, the opponent is going to be able to go for Hydro Cannon with their Feraligatr. Again, Feraligatr matchup, as said before, here we had some lag, by the way, before I wanted to go for the charge move 2 turns, like 2 fast moves earlier, but I just over-tapped because of the lag, which really is awkward, because then they get 3 fast moves in, which I did get here as well. But again, you kind of want to get rid of both of the opponent's shields. It is fine that it's going to be a CMP tile, but you just want to get rid of the opponent's shields here. That's all that really matters with this matchup, because yeah, we're going to be fine with Drillrun on our backline, but we just need to get rid of shields. Otherwise, like, it's going to be such a tough matchup for the Dugong to do anything in if the opponent has shields. Shadow Claw is just adding up a little bit too much for the Dugong. And so Hydro Cannon is coming through here. That's totally fine. They're going to catch the move onto a Chestnut. And I was like, that is going to be a bit tricky. But can I not outspeed them? I can outspeed them, and this is very, very nice. like, great catch from the opponent, don't get me wrong, but still we're going to be able to get this move off here. But it's still not over. I'm going to let the move go through. It's going to be the Thunder Punch. It doesn't knock us out, which is actually bad because I wanted the energy on my Sand Slash. Let's see what the opponent going to have there. They're going to have their own Sand Slash in the back. We have a shield advantage. But can we hit this Drill Run as well is the question here for me. Drill Run is coming through. The opponent is going to have to take this Drill Run here. Luckily, the opponent didn't swap out in time here. Drill Run is going to knock them out, or does it? It is barely not enough, but they swap out now. Feraligatr is coming through. I should be able to survive a Hydro Cannon here. Hydro Cannon is just neutral. Drill Run was super effective before, and yes, we survive it barely. And this is going to be a very good game, as this is going to be enough to knock them out, and our Sand Slash is going to be our MVP here. So, final battle for today, we're going to have Whimsicott in the lead. We're going to see the Slave Swap of Miltank. Miltank was recently in a video of mine as well. Check the Venny video out as well if you want to see a team with Miltank. Miltank, a very strong Pokemon to be fair. Like a very strong Pokemon. Having access to Thunderbolt in the current meta is quite nice. But we are going to be in an advantage here in terms of us having basically already some energy advantage before. And we saw Whimsicott. Look at the Pokemon they have in the back. Hard answer to Whimsicott. And you know what this means is, I can use a shield here, and I can align myself. And alignment is delicious. As we'll see, we can go for an Icy Wind. This might be able to get the shield back as well from the opponent, which doesn't, but it does a ton of damage, which I'm also happy about, and they're still going to go for a charge move. But like this, we are going to be able to go into our hardest answer, and they're going to have a Whiscash in the back. I decided to go for an Ice Punch, or never mind, I decided to keep the energy for an Ice Punch, and just decide to not really underline my Surge Clock too much, so I can swap out later on again into my Sand Slash early enough. So we are going to be able to go for that big play rough, and yeah, again, we're going to have here a very interesting matchup. The opponent might be able to catch the move though, which is the main thing that I'm kind of worried about, as the opponent might be able to catch this play rough here. Yes, they're going to be able to swap out just in time, just before I can go for my own swap as well. I thought they were just barely not there. You're going to see that they knocked us out there as well, and now I'm going to try to rely all basically on my Sand Slash. I can go for an Ice Punch, but can we still win the battle here? It is going to be a tough one. Ice Punch coming through, going to be able to get the shield, and a Mud Bomb very likely going to knock us out here, so we're forced to use a shield. They go for the Mud Bomb. I don't get to another move with the Azumarill, but they can now knock me out here, and so sadly we're going to lose the final battle. Or do we? Sand Slash still survives, still gets to a Drill Run, and it wins us this one as well. This team was ridiculously good, like literally so strong. As you're gonna see here, I was able to have a 5-0 at the end, and this allowed me to hit Legend this season. Thanks all for joining into my videos. I really appreciate you all. Thanks so much for the support, and this can be it for this one. And you see even a very strong team very soon as well that I like to showcase, which got me up to the top like 200 of the world right now. So see you then, bye bye.